Unbelievable. You know this company Genki, Human Things? They've done a lot of Nintendo Switch accessories, and they have this whole lineup of Switch 2 accessories coming out. And these guys, they were the ones, they kind of went a little viral around the time that the Switch 2 was going to be announced officially from Nintendo because they started putting out information a little early, some leaks and whatnot, kind of amping up, that they were going to be releasing some stuff, right? Obviously, they wanted to get in on the action. They're an accessory manufacturer, right? They're supposed to be sending me this stuff too, so maybe we'll get to check it out soon. Some of this stuff. I should have a Switch 2 on release date, so we should be doing some videos. But their accessories have been pretty good. I've liked almost everything that they've made. I've purchased some of their things. I've been sent some of their things. I think they're good quality products. So, but we're not here to discuss the quality of their products. We're here to discuss the problems that they have caused for themselves. For themselves, because guess what? Nintendo just filed a lawsuit against them. Yeah, Nintendo, these litigious mofos, dude. And I really was curious if this was going to happen because, man, they were like leaking renders and whatnot and just. But Nintendo, they're being a little petty, I think, with certain things. They're kind of like, well, if we didn't give Genki access to Jack, like we didn't give him access to anything. So if for them to make these claims to say that they're making these accessories, we didn't give them access to anything, and that they're making claims that they're going to have these accessories available day one, and that they're perfect, 100% compatible with the Switch 2, then they've had to have had illegal access to the Switch 2, or they're lying, type of thing. That's what I got from briefly skimming through this. It's I don't know how many pages this is. 27 pages. We're not gonna go through the entire thing. I'll edit this down if we get kind of hanged up on anything here, but that's kind of what I got from skimming through it. That Nintendo's like, hey, the hell's going on here? We don't like what you did leaking our stuff ahead of time. And also I saw something in here that they were pissed about their Genki Direct, that they did it like the same day and they copied their, logo or whatever. But we'll go through that. We'll go through that. So that's what it is. Nintendo of America. It's always Nintendo of America. So Nintendo of America versus Human Things doing business as Genki. So there you go. This was just filed yesterday, May 2nd, 27 pages. So Nintendo of America, pairing through its undersigned counsel, alleges the following. The action is for trademark infringement, unfair competition, and false advertising. Yeah. Beginning early December 2024, defendant embarked upon a strategic campaign intended to capitalize on the public interest surrounding Nintendo's next-gen console. Yeah, a lot of companies want to do stuff like that. D-Brand does the same thing, right? January 2025, defendant began advertising that it gained unauthorized access to Nintendo's upcoming Switch 2 console, which had not yet been released or even revealed publicly by Nintendo. When you're a company that's not like some little BS company in China hiding out somewhere in Shenzhen, right? If you're a company that's registered in the US, you don't pull shit like this, not with Nintendo. If you're in China, you can. You could start advertising crap leaking. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, really, it doesn't. But when you're a company who can be sought after by Nintendo, you don't pull this kind of crap, man. You just don't, right? So that's what they were doing, revealing shit. Defendant also advertised that because of its unique access to a genuine, unreleased Switch 2 console, it could manufacture gaming accessories that are compatible with the Switch 2. Further, Genki announced it would sell those allegedly compatible accessories, upon release of the console. Following its initial claims of access to the Switch 2, defendant's statements were contradictory and inconsistent, with defendant later stating that it was never in possession of a console. So yeah, all this stuff leaked early on. So, Genki could have been BSing, like, all this stuff was floating around China for a while now, right? So of course they're probably just like, okay, well, it seemed, who knows how they went about it, but they could have been like, yeah, everybody knows for sure. So we're just going to develop everything based off of Would our Chinese counterparts know? Who knows, right? People got access to this stuff. Ensuring the compatibility of defendant's accessories would not be possible unless the defendant had access to the Switch 2 console or to proprietary technical specifications, neither of which Nintendo provided or authorized to them, to Genki, right? Therefore, Genki is not in possession of a genuine console, thus they can't claim compatibility with enough certainty to make its advertising claims in good faith. So the defendant unlawfully or illicitly obtained an authentic Switch 2 or proprietary tech information about Switch 2 prior to the release to the public, prior to the actual information being released to the public. So they're saying that's a no-go. You received this information illegally and utilized it for your own profit to produce these things, right? To promote a product that you're selling. That's just a no-go, dude. Like I said, you could do that in China. You can't do that here as a company like this. Man. So Genki's wrongful actions began in December 2024 when they began promoting accessories for the highly confidential, unrevealed, unannounced Switch 2. For example, Genki attempted to connect with GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen to discuss the launch Switch 2 accessories that Genki was working on. Wow. Okay, so they have a screenshot here. Ryan Cohen, send me a DM with your order ID and issue. I don't know what that post is. DM'd you. Genki is just jumping in there into some other posts. Instead of going professionally, getting his email, send him an email or whatever. Would also love to DM you with some of the launch Switch 2 accessories we're working on because they want to get them in stores, right? Do they sell Genki stuff in GameStop? I think they just sell it through their website and Amazon, right? I don't know. Then on January 1st, Genki exhibitor page went live for CES. That's where everything shit hit the fan, right? Genki's intention to host a booth media briefing in which it offered to discuss any information about the not yet announced Switch 2, as well as the stuff defendant is making for it. The CES event, Genki demoed and promoted unauthorized purported mock-ups and renderings. They had videos playing and shit. Further, Genki presented 2 unauthorized 3D printed mock-ups to reporters. Genki boasted its alleged early access to the unreleased console and allowed guests to measure the mock-ups. At the booth, Genki CEO Edward Tsai personally showed off the 3D printed mock-ups, stated to different reporters that Genki had access to an authentic Switch 2, on which Genki based the mock-ups renderings to 3D printed mock-ups. See, that's the thing. Did they, or was it just what everybody else had access to that I had access to? Because Chinese manufacturers of accessories were sending them out to everybody, and those tech specs had to have been out there for people who wanted them. Genki's reps, including the CEO, also did multiple media interviews discussing their 8 accessories, purportedly confirming specific confidential designs and functionality of the not yet announced Switch 2. That's, they have an article detailing these statements in Exhibit B. Oh, yeah. This is the stuff that was going on. That was their little, their 3D printed mock-up with their case. That was a little video that they were playing. I remember looking at this website. See, look at those videos that they were playing and stuff. Before Nintendo, you can't be doing that, man. Can't be doing that. Genki also displayed video with all that stuff, right? Showing the Switch dock, which, yeah, spot on, dude. Spot on. That's the Switch 2 dock with the logo. Genki's presentation garnered significant attention from media and public. Media, especially those having had direct contact with Genki, promoted the impression that the 3D printed mock-ups were accurate to the Switch 2. Similarly, many consumers expressed belief that Genki was sent a model of the Switch 2 by Nintendo itself or received approval from Nintendo to see the new hardware for developing accessories. Now, yeah, I could see that. I can't even remember what I ate for dinner yesterday, so my bad, but I don't remember if I was under that impression or not at that time. I don't know. I don't remember if I thought that they had access to this stuff through Nintendo, or like I don't know. It's like if I would think that Genki was in that kind of because like their products aren't like oh official like by Nintendo like authorized by Nintendo or whatever. Um, not like what are the Power A and stuff like that. Like when they make products for Nintendo consoles. So I don't know if I thought that. I'm not sure, but I'm sure some people probably did. If I did, I don't know. But yeah, or received approval. So there could be some confusion to that. The issue of whether or not Genki was an authorized accessory manufacturer. That's accessory authorized accessory manufacturer. I know that they're not. So that yeah, people would debate that. I don't know. I know that they're not authorized, but like would Nintendo send out information to non-authorized people ahead of time? I doubt it. So I don't know. Public discourse and confusion over their announcements were significant. January 10th, Nintendo issued a statement to reporters about the incident, clarifying that the gaming hardware Genki presented is unofficial and not provided by the company. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. We're not gonna go through the whole thing. A news article published by the Game Post credited Genki with a rendering of the Switch 2 console, reproduced below, featuring the official design mark and full name of the console. Had still yet to be announced by Nintendo. And yeah, like the dock, the logo, everything's legit. And then the actual Switch with the color behind the Joy-Cons, it does have their case on it, right? But yeah, it's spot on. January 20th, Genki posted a picture of its CEO. Oh yeah, Genki still has that up. Genki ninjas infiltrate Nintendo Kyoto headquarters. Oh man. Oh shit, look at this person. Nintendo lawyers waiting for you. Oh shit. Boom. Man. Yeah, in an apparent attempt to further confuse the public. Yeah. Following Genki's participation in CES, they updated its website advertisements to boast its early access. They still have that up when you go to the Genki site. Well, can you keep a secret? We can't. On April 1st, the day before Nintendo's highly anticipated Switch 2 Direct, Genki mass emailed its marketing list and posted on social media announcing its own Direct presentation to be held on the same day as Nintendo's highly anticipated presentation. Tune in on Tuesday, April 2nd, 9 a.m. for a live stream Genki Direct featuring around 1 minute of upcoming accessories for Genki Glitch 2. There'll be no updates about Genki Glitch 3. That's fucking cheesy, dude. I hate when people do stuff like that, but whatever. Approximately 2 hours after the Switch 2 Direct, Genki mass emailed its marketing list, reminding them to tune into its Genki Direct. So they're like butthurt like about how the how they copied their their thumbnail. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Their pre-order page makes explicit claims that the just how everything works, right? How everything fits, that it just snaps magnetically, just how everything's compatible, right? I'm not going to read all this. Everything just works. And they're going on that, like, how do they know? They had to have illegal access or they're just lying. I think that's essentially what Nintendo's saying. So they say through its marketing efforts, Genki continues to exploit attention of the media and fan base and assert and threatens sales of Nintendo's own accessories. But to kind of wrap this up, what Nintendo is saying, the effects that their activities have caused is that they're causing confusion, that, hey, that Genki works with Nintendo, that they're authorized, that they had access, all sorts of things like that, that Nintendo's going to lose money, that they're authorized, you know, accessory sellers are going to lose money. So that's one of the things that's a big problem here. Unfair competition, trademark infringement using, the Switch logos, the lies that they made, the false advertisements. Now the prayer for relief here. What is it that they're looking for, right? The prayer for relief. Kind of skimming through this, it looks like they want them to refrain from designing, displaying, advertising, offering for sale, manufacturing, shipping, delivering, selling, promoting any product that incorporates or is marketed in conjunction with Nintendo's Switch marks and or any other mark, name, or design confusingly similar to those marks, and from any attempt to retain any part of the goodwill misappropriated from the plaintiff. So anything to do with Switch 2 is what I'm gathering from that, right? And they also want them to be enjoined from making false representations or statements in the marketing of its accessories and the nature, characteristics, qualities of its goods as they relate to the compatibility or integration to the Switch 2 and Nintendo's marks. And they also want them to be required to deliver up and destroy all products, packaging, signage, advertisements, internet postings, and advertisements, and any other materials bearing or using Nintendo Switch marks or any other mark, name, or design that is confusingly similar to those marks, names, or designs. Wow. Okay. So yeah, there's other stuff here. Plaintiff to recover all damages that's sustained as a result of their infringement, unfair competition, false advertisement, recover attorney fees, and any other costs that they deem fit for them or appropriate, I guess. Jury demand. Plaintiff demands jury trial on all these issues, triable by a jury under federal rule of civil procedures 38. So Nintendo, very litigious. Genki kind of brought this on themselves. I hate to say that, but it is what it is, dude. Like, you got to be careful. Tread lightly with these things. They should have waited. They shouldn't have been so out there with these things, wanting to jump the gun, especially like I said, being a US based company. I know people don't want to hear I'm not hoping Nintendo wins. I'm not saying that. I hope Genki can kind of slide through this and Nintendo just drops it or whatever. I don't know. I'm not hoping bad for Genki, but I'm just saying come on, Genki. You got to know better. Nintendo's a litigious company. You can't do these things, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.